My boys won't hesitate to run up on your boy. 감정이 꽉꽉꽉 남자들은 탐탐탐 내 입술 냠냠냠 어디 가도 당당당.
Today I would like to present about the performance management. What is a performance management? Performance management is the process of creating a work environment in which allow people to perform to their best abilities. It is a management tool that helps people to work effectively and efficiently. Performance management helps employees and employers to form a clear understanding on expectations, goals and objectives, and align them to companies' objective and also individuals' goals. Performance management focusing on constructing review and feedback to the employee. Performance management is a cycle of 6 steps, which include the first step is to align goal with a higher level goals. The second step is setting behavioral expectations and standards. The third step is providing feedback that is concrete to the employee on ongoing performance. The fourth step is performance appraised by the supervisor. And the fifth step is where the formal review session is conducted. And the last step of the process of performance management steps is the human resource management make a decision based on the review and feedback and the results of employees' performance. As instance, giving them rewards or promoting the employees. However, in performance management process, there will be hurdles and challenges that need to be addressed promptly so the performance management process can work effectively and efficiently. Some of the hurdles in conducting performance management is lack of performance feedback, lack of leadership, lack of training and coaching, flaws of designs, and lack in clarity in visions and objective. The first challenge is lack of feedback. Feedback is really important and essential in performance management process because feedback gives employees opportunity and chances to adjust their performance while executing the task given. If the feedback is lacking, the manager would not know the real problems that arise. Thus, the manager will overlook the problems because of his absence from the employee progress. Lack of performance feedback meaning that the supervisor or the manager are not keep on track on the employee's progress in the performance management process. The lack of feedback will create a gap between employees and employers because of the ineffective collaboration between employees and employers. The second challenge is the lack of leadership skills. Leadership is really important in performance management process because a leader should guide the employees to the right path. The lack of leadership will create many problems in the performance management process. For example, communication problems, poor performance, and also lack of problem-solving skills. The signs of bad leadership is the leader disregard the opinions and response of the employee. In performance management, it is not necessarily the one who giving feedback is only employers, but as an employees, they can talk and they can respond to the feedback that the employers have given because they feel the necessity to do so to show their concern to the employers. So the employers should appreciate and improve, also guiding them to the right path based on their opinions and review. The second signs of a bad leadership is the absence through the performance management process. The performance management process involves both employees and employers. The supervisor can be handful at times, however, it should not be an excuse for them to dismiss their responsibility as an evaluator and give feedback and pathway to their employees.
The next point is lack of training and development. Training is about developing a specific skill with the purpose of improvement. Usually, training is designed and implemented for a group. Meanwhile, coaching on the other hand is a development strategy that relies on having one-on-one access to a person with experience. In other words, a coach. Therefore, there is several impacts of a lack of training and coaching at the workplace. Firstly is unhappy employees and high turnover. Employees are interested in performing their jobs well to advance the company. This is because they feel a sense of pride for a job to be well done and to advance to higher positions. So when there is no training, employees do not understand how to do their jobs and none of these goals are possible. Therefore, this leads to low morale among workers, which results in employee turnover. The second impact is because low rates of production. The rate of production is low when employees don't know enough to perform their jobs confidently. And usually, to save time, employers often delegate the task of training to employees who have been on the job longer. And many times, these employees aren't given extra time to do their new job that are given to them because they still need to complete their own work. And the third one is ineffective staff management. When managers aren't adequately trained, it affects the entire company. A manager who is new to his role needs a training in how to manage people, delegate the work, resolving conflicts between the employees, motivate his staff, and adapt to changes within the company. So, employees look to management to solve these issues. However, they become delusional when it is lacking, which results to their morale becoming low and they don't care as much about their work or productivity. The next challenge is lack of flexibility. The lack of flexibility can be a consequential stumbling block to the successful implementation of the performance management system in the public sector. So the public sector needs to create an enabling environment before rolling out the program, because this is important towards the successful attainment of annual performance target. Therefore, it is become imperative for the public sector to invest in practices that will facilitate and encourage the performance of their workers, instead of being primarily focused on the rule-bound procedures that are inflexible and frustrate the employees. The other challenges is lack of clarity in vision and objective. A lack of clarity in organization can cause simple issues to develop into complex issues, conflict, frustration, assumptions, and disengagement. Yet, the issues of misunderstood or misinterpreted clarity is a widespread issue that affect the workplace. The issues are overlapping tasks, where having two or more employees produce the same work is a role conflict and a waste of resources. Second issue is miscommunication. Large distributed teams often suffer from communication problems and unclear directions, which role clarity can alleviate. The third one is friction between co-workers. Passing the buck from one person to another or onto a different department is common when there is a lack of alignment, and transparency about roles will increase trust amongst colleagues.
Regarding to all the challenges that have been explained from my member before this, we also will be discussed on the recommendation towards the effectiveness of performance management that will probably solve the challenge in the organization. So the first recommendation would be improving the communication between manager and employee. So the most important part in order company to achieve the company goals is communication. So the goals of the company always rely on communication, which they use it as a tool to transfer all the information of the company. So to improve the communication between the managers and employee, the organization should open the communication environment. So open communication is when senior manager and the employees of the company convey their ideas, problems, and views. So this environment will make employees freely to express their thoughts, difficulties, and comments. The objective of the open communication is a strategy that respects each employee's viewpoint and encourage them to view things in a way and foster the cooperation. For example, consider a workplace with division between various team and division. So when no open communication, it is possible for two persons to work on the same task at the same time, and the certain assignment may be dropped since no one conduct them. For example, when the organization that promote information sharing between seniors and subordinates, as well as between the employees of the same department, it will help everyone in the company to complete the job given. As a result, employees will gain respect for one another when conflicts are addressed via communication, which promotes their professional and personal growth. Next, the way to improve communication and increase work satisfaction is giving honest feedback. So, honest feedback offers benefit and inspires workers to work harder and makes them feel relevant to the company. Even we have a highly competent and trained employee, the low productivity will destroy the value of all quality of the works done by them. So, effective communication depends on being honest. This is because when the right information arrives from the upper management, the duties and tasks will be easier to be done. Let's move to the second point, which is leadership and management support toward the effectiveness of performance management. So, leadership is one of the most critical aspects of organizational management. So, the effective organization will be achieved with good leadership style. Different leadership style will achieve various types of organizational goals. The first rule are employee retention, which is a difficulty for firms since skilled people are valued resources, and the second is employee performance. Retention methods include programs like incentive and recognition, training and development, flexible working arrangement, remuneration, promotion, and other chances. Due to the lack of trend level, economic expansion, and significant employee turnover, staff retention is one of the most important concerns that manager should address. So, the ability and conduct of the leader can impact how motivated and productive each employee. The improvement of the productivity of each person individually will depend on the leadership style used. Next, organizational success is heavily reliant on how well and efficiently employees do their jobs. So, high employee turnover may affect an organization's performance. According to the nature of the industry, leaders should use proper leadership style in order to keep top performers in the organization. In addition, employee performance management, or EPM, is one of the most important HR activities that may direct employee performance and have a significant beneficial impact on organization success. So, EPM is linked to hierarchical management and control. A framework based on management value system might be developed to increase the efficiency of EPM as one method to do this. To conclude, leadership and management support is important in organization as they lead the lower management in order to doing all the tasks given, and without the guide of doing the job, the employee will make the same mistake repeatedly. That's all from me. Thank you.
The next suggestion for the improvement in performance management is, of course, we are need to identify every barriers in the improvement. The barriers that can be found will be arranged based on the initiative nature of change, the quality of the supporting evidence, and how complex the changes are in relation to the current situation. Every person must provide their own knowledge, attitudes, roles that are clear, resources, and priorities, while every organizational component needs to contribute engagement, leadership, focus, knowledge, and appropriate timing. Besides that, it is important to clarify how to improve time management because every task we do begins with appropriately allotted time. Since every project has a deadline that must be met, it will help to avoid wasting time on it. If you have a good time management skill, your workplace productivity will increase, which will benefit you much. Next is implementation of pilot test. We are fully implement the system during the pilot test, taking all the necessary steps and carry out the entire system from beginning to the end. In other words, meeting between the employees and the supervisor occur, performance information is obtained, developmental plans are created, and feedback is given. Before rolling out the system across the entire organization, the pilot test enables the early detection and remedy of any issue. One other benefit of running a pilot test is that customer will be more inclined to accept the system since they would know that other company stakeholders were involved in its design rather than believing that the HR department was the sole creator. The suitable group for employees needs to be chosen for the pilot test in largest firm. You must be aware that the manager who will participate in this group must be prepared to commit the necessary time and resources to carry out the pilot test. To ensure that responses from the group may be extrapolated to the rest of the organization, make sure the group you choose is both sizable and representative of the full organization. Last but not least, other recommendation that we can take is organization need to set a clear goal. The most easy to organization refer is SMART goal. SMART refer to an acronym built around the key characteristic of meaningful goals, which can be very helpful in writing performance expectation that can be used to evaluate the effectiveness of work and behavior. The first acronym is specifically define what you expect the employee to do or be delivered. Always make sure to avoid generalities and use action verbs as much as possible. Secondly, measurable. You should be able to measure whether the employee is meeting the goals or not. Everything that we do is always to identify how you will measure success that is usually stated in terms of quantity, quality, timeliness, or cost. Thirdly, it is achievable. Every management need to make sure that accomplishing the goal is within the employee realm of authority and capabilities. While considering whether a goal is attainable or achievable, you also need to consider the employee total sets of goals. Fourthly is realistic. Realistic achieve the objective with the resources available that ensure the goal is practical, result-oriented and within the employee's realism of authority and capabilities. Lastly, time-bound. When the objective is to be complete, specify when the goals need to be complete such as by the end of year or every month. The best SMART goal provide guidance for the employee and help keep performance focused throughout the evaluation period. When these goals are discussed and written, the employer and the employee have a true understanding of what performance is expected and by what standard it will be evaluated. Conclusion, every organization should have an efficient performance management cycle in place. It was a tool that is designed to give your employees ongoing progress. Leader has to know the causes that occur in their teams to improve their job skills and knowledge. Every problem has solution and the solution need to be taken seriously in order for the company to operate well. The significance of performance management, which boosts the productivity of human resources, is crucial in today's competitive environment where productivity is rising across the board and only business that make the best use of their resources and are the most productivity can survive. Organizations can plan their future action in a methodical approach by implementing performance management in their operation and taking use of the result. By taking an action, it can improve the productivity and the performance of the employee as well. Hence, the employee contribution to reach the goals of the organization also very important to get an effective performance of the management. So that's all from us. Thank you.